So we talked a bit about centrism last time, but I'm still kind of struggling with it. Like, sometimes I just get so tired of all the arguing and the news. You know, doesn't it make sense to just tune it out sometimes for your own mental health?
Mental health, eh? The bourgeoisie love to weaponize terms like that. Of course, stress is a real thing. Exhaustion certainly exists. I, myself, am no stranger to the many sleepless nights of revolutionary work. However, to claim your mental health is a good excuse to abandon the political struggle altogether is dangerous. It's like saying you're too tired to eat when you're starving. The problems that cause you stress, inequality, injustice, exploitation, are all political problems. Ignoring politics allows the very systems that create your stress to continue to grind you down.
Okay, I see your point, but it's just so overwhelming. Where do you even start? It feels like you have to know everything about everything to even have an opinion.
Comrade Kai, you're falling into the trap the bourgeois media is laying out. You don't need a PhD in political science to have a valid opinion, nor do you need a degree to take a stand. Start with what affects you directly. Where do you work? What are your living conditions? What problems do you see around you every day? Those are the issues that matter most.
So, like, my job is pretty stressful, and my boss is always on my back. Would that be a political issue?
Absolutely. The relationship between worker and boss is inherently political. It's a power dynamic. Who has the power to control your wages, your hours, your working conditions? The boss. And that power is protected by the state by laws that favor the owners of capital. That's why workers uniting in trade unions is an essential part of the struggle.
So, even complaining about my boss is a political act?
In a way, yes. But complaining alone isn't enough. Complaining can be a seed for action. You must question why your boss is on your back. Is he under pressure to increase profits? Is his pressure being passed on to you? Trace the pressure lines and see who is benefiting.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about things that seem totally separate? Like environmental issues. I don't see how that's related to the bourgeoisie.
Kai, everything is connected. Who pollutes the environment the most? Factories, industries, and who owns those factories and industries? The bourgeoisie ruling class, of course. They prioritize profit over people and the planet. The environmental crisis is a direct consequence of capitalist greed. Their pollution negatively impacts everyone, especially the working man.
Whoa, I never thought about it that way.
That's because bourgeois propaganda deliberately obscures these connections. They want you to think environmentalism is separate from class struggle, when in reality they're two sides of the same coin.
So, what if someone says they just want to focus on local issues and ignore the bigger national or international stuff? Is that still harmful?
Concentrating solely on local affairs can be a useful start, but you have to be wary. All of these issues are linked to broader structures of power. For example, a rise in crime at a local level could point to wider issues with state funding and corruption, which can be linked to the bourgeois protecting their interests and status quo.
This is a lot to take in.
It is, my comrade, but the truth will set you free. And the truth is the bourgeois benefit from your feeling overwhelmed and detached from politics. Once you understand that, you're already one step ahead. Do not feel alone when approaching political work. You are fighting with millions of other disenfranchised workers.
So, what should I do? Should I start reading Marx?
Marx is essential, of course, but don't feel you have to master Das Kapital before taking action. But Marx is a tool you can use to understand the world around you in a historical and dialectical sense. Start with the Communist Manifesto, but equally important is to talk to people, to organize, to participate in the struggle. Theory without practice is useless, and practice without theory is blind.
Okay, I think I'm getting a clearer picture. Thanks, comrade!
The revolution needs all hands and minds on deck. Comrade Kai, now, sharpen your tools and prepare to fight for the proletariat. Go forth and spread revolutionary consciousness. And remember, no nap during the revolution. This is no time for inaction. You will not be alone. Find your fellow comrade and rise up against the bourgeoisie.